Hi, this is Bill with Galveston Cruise Reviews. I'm in Parque Chankanaab Park here in Cozumel, Mexico. It is December 2019, and I want to give you a quick tour of one of my favorite spots in Mexico and one of the best shore excursions you can have. I am inside the park looking back at the entrance plaza, and it cost me $23 to get in today, which is great. You can certainly spend more than that if you want the optional packages or upgrades, but if you go back there and towards your left, you buy your tickets and you come in. There are also some stores right outside the park. And then as you get in, there's a beautiful entrance plaza. There's quite frequently someone in front of the waterfall there with whom you can take pictures. You can see that guy back towards there. That is the entrance to the main area of the park. There's the main restaurant, the buffet, and a bar. And let's go into the entrance to the dolphin area because this is why a lot of people come here. And I'll be honest, I've never actually done the dolphin experience. I've come to Chankanaab 4 or 5 times for other reasons. But the dolphin experience is always packed and has a lot of people in it, so let's go take a look. To my right is a group of people receiving the orientation for the dolphin experience, but if you're going to do it, there you can see some of the dolphins right out there. It's in a small enclosed area, it's perfectly safe, and that would be an amazing way to spend your day. I'm more into beach days, but again, if you want the dolphin experience, it is right there in an enclosed area. You can't get swept out, and the dolphins have plenty of space to swim. Also, looking back, you can see our ship, the Carnival Dream, in the distance. Right behind it are some Royal Caribbean ships. I show you that to show you it's a very short ride out here, probably 8 or 10 minutes from the cruise pier. If you go back this way, you have the sea lion presentation. You also have some additional restaurants, so let's go that way. The restaurants here are very good, but the restaurants in the big formal building, as well as the gift store in the big formal building, are necessarily going to be more expensive than some of your other options. That doesn't mean don't do it. It does mean be aware of what you're getting into, although it's hard to beat the chairs and the view. Here's a pool area with a swim-up bar, and if this was a different trip, I would love to go to that swim-up bar right now. Let's go back out this way. So we stopped at this bar earlier this summer, and this bar is a great choice for kids. My kids got some fruit smoothies, and you can also get some actual, cut fruit. You can get a few light snacks. This coffee bar here is a great choice, particularly if you're traveling with your kids. But let's go back out into the main area of the park. There's the gift shop. Tends to be a little pricey, but they've got some nice stuff. Above me, you can see one of the zip line towers. That's one of the things this park does, is they have some options for some high adventure tours. I don't much like zip lining. I had a bad experience back in Roatan, but there are a whole lot of people having a whole lot of fun with that. You have a lot of small independent vendors here in the park. Here is one of those fish spas where you can stop and have the fish nibble your feet. I've had that done before. It feels kind of weird, but it also kind of makes my feet feel nice. As we walk in, some of those decorations aren't normally up, but it is December the 21st. There are some decorations up in preparation for Christmas. If you've purchased the laser tag excursion, here's where you would come to check in. We've done that 3 times before, and the laser tag excursion is fantastic. They will, of course, be happy to sell you some pictures. You can also come in here to check in for the other high-speed adventures, such as the zip lining. So do know that if you are mobility impaired or in a wheelchair, there are some parts of the park that'll be very difficult to get to. So far, we are on concrete paths, which would be just fine. In a little while, going back that direction, you would get into a place where it was sand, and that would be more difficult. Still, I think there would be plenty here to enjoy. Turning to my left if you go through here, this is the area where the laser tag happens. In addition to being where the laser tag happens, they have a sculpture garden here and some just beautiful tropical gardens. Like, I enjoy walking around here. It's a lot of fun. Let's go take a quick look at that area. That tent to my right is where the laser tag groups meet to get their orientation after they've checked in. And going back for quite a ways, there are paths which are perfectly smooth, level, easy to walk on, beautifully maintained. And it's a gorgeous tour. It's a gorgeous way to get a sense of what the Yucatan Peninsula or the islands right off the Yucatan are like. Let's go back, though, into the main area of the park. So to our left is a tour group. Let me pass around them as quietly as I can. In this area is a place where they demonstrate how to make tequila, which is actually a really interesting tour. You can, of course, also buy some in there. And here is a stand where they will sell you some homemade margaritas for $8 using that fresh fruit. Had one of those earlier this morning. It was the best margarita of my life. Also included was one of those pottery cups that I get to take home. So if you come to Parque Chankanaab, I absolutely encourage you to stop there. Going into this plaza area, you have a number of vendors. I bought a bag from one of them earlier today. To my left is one of the other paths that goes back to the sculpture gardens and nature walk that I showed you earlier. We're about to come up on the beach area, and that's one of the fantastic features of Cozumel. It is one of the nicer beach days I can imagine. It's not all inclusive. They will certainly sell you alcohol. There's not an unlimited alcohol package, but that kind of gives it a more relaxed and chill vibe, right? Like, I'm comfortable bringing my kids here. I'm comfortable coming here to have a drink. Another shallow swimming area. When we were here in 2015 and my younger child was 7, my wife and he went in there. They were able to play in the ocean, but it was protected and safe. To our right is the Blue Lagoon restaurant. Again, on our 2015 trip, we ate there, and it wasn't fantastic, but it was still quite a good lunch, and you cannot possibly beat the views from that restaurant. This vendor here will sell you pictures with an iguana, or a macaw. And then you just have rows and rows of beach chairs. I should say there are 4 ships in port today, and that area is not particularly busy. Also significant is that there are a number of local guests. This is a state park from the Mexican state of Quintana Roo. There are a number of Mexican nationals here, of course, enjoying the park. And in spite of the heavy local traffic, in spite of the 4 cruise ships, it just doesn't feel crowded. Coming up on my left is one of my favorite spots here in Parque Chankanaab. You can see ahead of us, of course, another one of the zipline towers. But this is a cenote, a small clear lake. And if you get up close to it, sometimes you see fish swimming. It is perfectly clear. You have no idea how deep it is because the water is so clear. You can see all the way clear through to the bottom. Let's go down and take a look real quick. They ask you not to swim in this. I'm certainly not going to. It'd be a fun place to zip line over. That's just beautiful clear water where you can see all the way to the bottom. Going back again into the tropical gardens. Now let's go back up to the beach area real quick. You have hammocks. There are several more bars and restaurants, as well as areas where you can pick up snorkeling equipment back in this direction. One of the things I've noticed is it's only about 80 degrees today, and it's in December, and yet it is still a little bit hot and sticky. If you're going to come to the park, make sure you bring water. They of course have vendors who will sell you bottles of water as well. In preparation for Christmas, Frosty the Snowman, who I judge to be unlikely to make a visit here to Cozumel. Coming up on my left is a spa area, which I've never seen busy, and I may go to it earlier because the thought of a massage right on the beach sounds fantastic. Going up ahead, one of the bars, they have both what here are domestic beers, a lot of the Mexican beers, although I was disappointed they didn't have Montejo. Full service bar. Another large restaurant, El Bucanero, the Pirate. Morning. You can rent life jackets. There's a beach volleyball area right here. Happily, I'm not about to interrupt somebody's game. I've not yet eaten at that restaurant, but it looks like it would be excellent. There are places where you can check out scuba diving equipment. There's one last place I want to take you to. It is a new private beach area that has recently opened up. Incidentally, there are restrooms several places throughout the park, including that white building at the back. So we're at the part of the park now where it's completely safe. It's very easy to walk if you're able to walk comfortably. If you had a wheelchair or other mobility impairment issues, this part of the park might be a little bit of a challenge. This is where we came to rent our snorkeling equipment. The snorkeling here is amazing. My older son and I saw one of the largest lobsters I've ever seen immediately offshore. Do be aware that the snorkeling area has a whole lot of very fast currents. And it's located right over there. And we're coming up on the final thing I wanted to show you, and I can't go into it today, but it's the private area. So if you want an even more relaxed, even quieter beach day, the cabana beach you can pay extra to rent. And we've got somebody waving. You can pay extra to rent. You can get a private cabana right on the beach and no one else can get there. So again, this is Parque Chankanaab in Quintana Roo, Cozumel, Mexico. It is an amazing shore excursion. You can get into the park for only $23. I highly recommend it. I hope this video has been helpful to you. If it has, we'd love it if you would like and subscribe Galveston Cruise Reviews. Also visit us on galvestoncruisereviews.com. Thanks so much and happy sailing.